guys, on today's video we're going to be doing a product review on Vdiagtool. This is going to be more of a budget-friendly scanner that claims it does all kinds of things, which we're going to go through. This will be perfect for your car enthusiast at home, or even like me, automotive technician that wants to have something at home, so you don't have to bring all your tools from work. So let's turn the camera on and I'll show you guys what we're working with. All right, today we are working with the Vdiagtool VD70 Lite. They sent this to me. They want me to reveal it. It looks like it has some nice features. So it is a touch screen. It runs an Android, so it's basically a tablet. Just like most scan tools, it's basically an Android tablet with an app that does diagnosis. It does have a quad-core processor, so it should be nice and fast. 2 GB of RAM plus 64 gigabytes. It has an 18.2 watt-hour battery, 8-in-1 graphing. You can export CSV and print, and it works with endoscope too. So if you have an endoscope, you can plug it into this and the whole screen will turn into a camera. So that's kind of cool. So let's unbox this thing and see what it looks like. All right, let's open it up. And I will have a link below so you guys can buy it if you like it. So it comes in a nice case. This is actually nice because a lot of tools you buy, they have little plastic clips, and within a month the clips will fall off and break. The metal ones seem like they're nicely built, at least for a case, you know. Let's open it up, see what it looks like. All right. So open this up. Looks like we got some paperwork here, probably a manual. There's a list, a packing list, so you can make sure you get everything that's in here. A little protector, so the scanner is nice and protected in foam, so that's cool. All right, so let's see what comes with it first. All right, so in here you get your charger with a USB-C, and then you get some plugs in case you live in different countries. I'm in the US, so I'll be using just that. And then they have a USB to USB-C adapter, which is probably for data transfer on the scanner. So if you plug in the charger cable to this, plug this to the scanner, and you can transfer data from the scanner, probably stuff to print and stuff. And then also you get your charging cable, USB-C. And then you get your main cable, which goes to the scanner and gives you an OBD2 plug. So I'll open this up. So that's it for this side. Now we get to the actual scanner. Seems like a decent size. It's actually pretty hefty. It's actually not very light. Just turn the camera a little bit. Let's put all the stuff here. Okay. See what it looks like. It actually looks really nice. So it's perfect size, feels good in your hand. It's actually pretty heavy. I've had other scanners that were more money that were a lot lighter than this. And I prefer a scanner that's actually a little heavier. It just feels more quality. I feel like the ones that are super light, there's like barely anything in it. Now, that doesn't mean that a scanner that's lighter is going to be worse than this, but I like a beefier feel. It has a perfect grip here, pretty good size screen. It has a camera back here with a flash. Like I said, this is basically a tablet, and then it has the app for you to diagnose cars. So as you look around, there's no ports here. It's nice and clean. You got your power button. You got the connection for the OBD2 plug. So this is a wired unit. This does not have a Bluetooth dongle that you will plug into your car, and that way you can walk around with the car, and diagnose it. But I kind of like having a wired unit, to be honest. And then if you flip this up, there's the USB-C charging port, or if you connect it to a computer, it will be like a data transfer port. Other than that, no other ports. You do have a nice aluminum kickstand here to hold it like that, so that's awesome. So let's power it on. I'm gonna install, so press and hold power, that will come on, and install my Put it in and turn the little screws in to lock it in place. Nice little boot screen there. Now keep in mind, always use the charger that comes with the tool. And the reason why I say that is people don't realize, they think that USB-C is USB-C. Well, not really. Chargers put out a certain amount of amperage. So if you look at a charger here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it says output 5 volts, 3 amps. That's how much amperage is going into the tool to charge it. If you plug it in, if you plug this to your computer or any other device that has a USB-C, it'll charge, but it might only charge at 1.5 amps instead of 3, which means you're going to be instead of taking an hour to charge, it's going to take 2 hours. So you always want to give it the most amperage that the tool will take, which is in this case is 3. So if you plug it into something that has less amperage, it's just going to take forever to charge. So don't blame the tool for the fact that it takes long to charge when you're plugging into the wrong spot. So always use what comes with the tool to charge it. So boots up to a nice screen. Very nice. It actually looks very futuristic. The buttons looks really nice. So as you can see here, I already have the Fabi Garage. I already turned this on and updated it. And the reason why I did that is because when you first turn it on, you got to set up your name and everything, and then you have to update the app. And inside the app, you have to update every brand, Honda, Acura, or whatever. And that takes about an hour. So I'm not going to make you guys sit here through an hour of video just to show you the updates, but I'll show you how it's done anyway, regardless. But this is fully updated, fully charged. So battery's 100%. I charged it and updated it. That way, the review video for you guys will be nice and fast. You don't have to sit there and watch the update go. All right, so let's go hook this up to a vehicle and see what it does, all the features it does. Okay, so we have this scanner connected to a 2022 Kia Telluride. So this is the wife's car, so I want to see if it does something this new, even though it says the scanner is updated to 2024. That does not mean that it'll work on every single 2024 car. This is the thing you got to keep in mind when you buy any scanner, whether it's a $300 scanner or a $1,200 scanner. Not every scanner is going to do everything on every car. Most technicians have a combination of 2-3 scanners that'll pretty much cover 80-90% of what they work on, but no scanner does everything. So this scanner should do most of like your regular cars. So we'll see if it works. So I'm on the main screen. I'll go through all the settings. So auto scan, it's for, like I said, for newer cars. If you click auto scan, and I'll show you, it pulls up the VIN, figures out what kind of car it is, and lets you scan that car automatically. Manual, you will click here. You will select your make and model. So I have my vehicles. These are my vehicles. But if you want to go European, you have all the European, America, and Asia. Or you have just regular OBD2, which is like your cheap little scanner that you can go in just to quickly read a code or see your readiness. You can use that too, but I would recommend going through your make and model through the brand here. If you go into manual mode and you click VIN, it'll pull it up automatically too. It'll basically give you the same option, auto scan or manual. Manual input will let you type the VIN in, and that comes in handy for cars that are not allowing you to pull the VIN automatically. If you type in the VIN, then it'll help the scanner know what kind of car it is, and it'll help you connect to it. So that's the manual diagnosis. Special function, you have all of these functions that you can do. So like I said, when you click oil reset, which is the first one, this will give you all the makes and models. That's when you will go and connect to your car. So let's say I have a Kia, I'll go to Asia and I'll find Kia, and then the car will connect to it and it'll try and reset the oil life for you. So manual detection or manual selection. Go back. So again, just because you have all these services does not mean this will do all of these on every single car. Your car might have only 10 of these that work. So again, don't think that this tool or any tool is going to do everything. But I'll walk you through, guys, the features that it does have. So you have oil reset.
You have EPB, which is electronic parking brake. On newer cars, you have electronic rear calipers most of the time. And in order for you to do your brakes at home, you have to come in here and you have to retract the caliper. So you press electronic parking brake, it puts it in service mode, which lets you push the piston in, replace pads and rotors, and then you come back here and you click electronic parking brake again, and it closes the caliper and takes it out of service mode. So you need this feature to work on newer cars for the rear brakes because they use that as a parking brake. You have a SAS, which is steering angle sensor. If you replace the steering angle sensor, you might have to relearn the stops so the car knows what angle the steering is at. BMS reset, that's for when you do a battery on a BMW or an Audi, and you have to tell the car that the battery has been replaced. Because as the battery gets older, the charging system kind of makes up for it and starts to overcharge it a little more than normal. But if you replace your battery with a brand new one, the car doesn't know you replaced it, and it's still going to try and overcharge that battery because it thinks the old battery is still in there. And you could have your battery fail on you prematurely. So you always want to tell your car, the ones that have BMS, that you replace the battery, so the car goes back from overcharging the battery a little bit to regular charge. Injector coding, if you replace an injector, some injectors like BMWs have a code on the side of it that you have to type in, and you have to basically code it to the car. So that does that. Throttle, this will do throttle relearn. So if you replace a throttle body, certain cars you have to learn stops, so this will learn the throttle stops for you. ABS bleeding, like on the Chevys, you replace a brake line or anything in the hydraulic system, it will use the ABS pump to bleed your brakes for you. Some cars, the only way to bleed it to get all the air out is to actually use the ABS bleeding function. DPF, that will regenerate your DPF filter on a diesel vehicle. Gearbox match, I've never used the gearbox match, to be honest. I don't know if it has anything to do with the clutch packs on like an automatic transmission. But I'll probably go into that and see what it does. TPMS reset lets you work on your tire pressure sensors. And then you have your crank relearn. Certain cars, if you replace a crank sensor, or you have a sensor that sees the gap on the flywheel, it'll let you relearn that. Power balance, I'm not sure what that is. I've never used that. You can work on your airbag system. Air and fuel reset, if you have a bad oxygen sensor, it'll throw the fuel trim like crazy. If you want to reset it so that the car starts from scratch, you basically do a ANF reset, air and fuel. It'll reset so that the car will wake up and start trying to adjust the fuel trims from the beginning instead of having a preset value from a bad sensor. Tire size reset, I think that's when you upgrade your tire size. In order for your speedometer not to be off because you have a bigger tire or a smaller tire, you have to adjust the tire size so the car knows you have a certain size tire, so that way your speedometer will be right. And not only that, when you put too big of a tires on a vehicle like a truck, your shift points, because your transmission goes by your engine speed and your wheel speed, your shift points might be altered too. So your car might shift at an earlier time than it usually did with the older tires. Immobilizer reset, that's for your immobilizer and your keys. I don't know if this can program keys, I'm not sure, but either way, it lets you go into immobilizer, which is your chip on your key for security. So every car has a chip in the key, that way nobody can just come in and start it with a screwdriver. Their immobilizer will not start the engine because it does not see that chip in the key. Start stop, you can service that, or you might be able to turn it off. That's when your start stop like that has it. It'll when you pull up to a red light, it stalls out to save fuel. Seat calibration, some BMWs or Mercedes, when you replace a motor on a seat, you have to learn the stops, so that way when some cars on the fancy Mercedes, when you open the door, the seat moves for you, and then when you close the door, the seat moves back. It cannot do that if it doesn't know the stops, basically the limits of how far it can go each way. So that does that. AC relearn, I have never seen this, and I've been a technician for years. I don't know what you're learning on EAC, but I'm gonna click on it later and see what it does. Language change is if you want to change language on your cluster, for example. Sometimes it'll be in a different language, or kilometers or miles per hour. You should be able to change that. EEPROM is so you can access your EEPROM chip if you want to. Transport mode is when they ship a car, they put it in transport mode, which disables a lot of features on your car. And then when the dealership gets it, they take it out of transport mode and activate all the features. Some cars I've seen, especially BMWs, go into transport mode out of nowhere, and then you have all these features that are not working. And you go in there with a factory tool like ISTA, and you take it out of transport mode, and everything works again. So you're able to do that with this. Window initialization. Again, you're learning the stops on the hall sensors on the window. You'll be able to do that. That's mostly on, like I said, the European cars have all these crazy things. Suspension, again, air suspension on Mercedes. Travel sensors on BMWs, you should be able to play with those there. HV battery, which I believe it's hybrid batteries. I'm not 100% sure. I don't do the whole electric car stuff yet, so I believe it's hybrid vehicles battery. I don't know what you can do with it, but maybe when you replace a hybrid battery, you can let the car know that you did. VGT relearn you can do. Your headlights, you can relearn. Some cars, like my Audi, has adaptive headlights, so the lights go up and down as you hit a bump. You can relearn those. Instrument cluster. I don't know if it'll let you mess with the mileage. Sometimes this here will let you, let's say your car has 100,000 miles and you bought a replacement cluster for it, and that one has 80,000 miles. You want to have the right mileage on your car. I believe it'll let you go up. So if it has 80, it'll let you go to 100, but it will not let you go down, because that way people are going to be, plugging this into their cars, turning down the mileage, and then selling it for more money. So I believe instrument cluster on most tools only lets you go up. So if you have 100,000 miles, you can go higher. So if you ever replace a cluster in your car, buy one that has less miles than your current one. That way you can go up with it and make it accurate. And then you can learn your EGR. You can do your ECU configurations, and then you can do your coolant bleeding. Most newer cars have a coolant pump that's electric. So if you do a coolant service, you can use this pump to get all the air out of the system. So it has a lot of features, but like I said, not all of these features are gonna work on every single car. Another neat little feature of this scanner is, because this scanner is plugged into a vehicle and my car is actually running right now because it's a little chilly out, it's actually charging. So the scanner actually charges from your regular OBD2, which is awesome, because if I'm sitting here watching live data for half an hour, instead of having to worry about the battery running down, it's literally at 100% the whole time. So that's kind of cool that it charges while you use it. That's definitely not every tool. So back to the main screen. So I already showed you guys special functions. If you go into settings, it gives you stuff like language, unit, if you want to see all your live data in metric and imperial or in US units. USB, the USB setting, which is a USB-C up here. If you click this, it'll be transfer mode. And if you click this, it'll be expansion mode, so you can expand it to all accessories. Sound and display, I already showed you guys, adjust the volume and brightness. So that's just the regular settings. Remote control is if you have any issues with the scanner, Vdiagtool can actually kind of like a team viewer. They can go in here remotely and they can take control of the scanner and they can try and figure something out for you. Service Center will bring you right to the website for you to have some other extra resources. Report. So I saved the report because I did a quick scan on this, and I'll go through it with you guys. If you click on report, you have here that I did a scan on the Telluride today. You can go into diagnostic report, or you can go to a trouble code report. So that's pretty cool that it has that. And then again, a CSV view. This will be a graph of what you did. So that's pretty cool. This tool is like nice and fast too. Now we're gonna get onto updates. When you click update, you're gonna have all these brands here that you're eligible to update. If you want to update, you click this little arrow here. Well, I'm only updating the cars that I work on. I don't plan on bringing this tool to China and working on their cars. So I'm not going to download all these Chinese cars because I'm never going to work on them. And all that's doing, if I click update all I'm doing is I'm downloading double of the room, you know what I mean, that I need. So I'm taking up storage on the tool that I could use for other things, with software that I know I'm never going to touch. So my recommendation is go down the list one by one and only download the brand that you're going to use. So if you work on, you know, Toyota, whatever, I'm in the US, I downloaded every brand that I know I'm going to touch. Everything else, it's still here, not downloaded. And I have so much more room on the built-in hard drive because I don't have any of these cars. I'm never going to connect to, like, European Ford. I'm never going to work on those. So I downloaded the USA Ford because I'm in USA. So all these cars here, all of these, this is all updates I can do. I don't even know what half of these cars are, to be honest. And then, yeah. So if you want to update all, you can. But I would recommend you only install the vehicles that you work on. That way it makes it too nice and fast. And it leaves you a ton of room for other things. So if you click more, you have your profile. So you can put your username, which shows up there, your email. And then you can set a password if you want to. Your workshop, again, if you have a shop or a business, you can put your business information here. When you print out the report, like the DTC report, all your information will be on the top of the page. It makes it look like a professional scan report. And then subscription and services is basically your 3 years of free updates. Once you activate this unit, when you first get it, 3 years from that date will be the last day that you can update the tool. So just always keep updating the apps you have, because in 3 years they're going to make you pay for an update. So this tells you exactly the date that my scanner is going to no longer update for free. VCI management, you don't really have a VCI on this because you have a cable, so you don't worry about that. But all the scanners that do have a VCI, you can play around with the firmware and update it and stuff. Endoscope, if you have an endoscope, you plug it into your USB-C, and the whole screen will be a camera, so you can use it. And then user manual, if you have any questions about the scanner at all and you want to use the manual, you click here and the manual comes up. So that's kind of cool. Press go back. So that's pretty much the whole screen here. So let's go for an auto scan. And I'm going to hide the VIN just because it's a personal thing. Let me just, there you go. So Kia 2022 Telluride. It brings up what engine I have. You press OK. Please connect to the network. I am connected. Now over here, you're going to have two options. You can do automatic scan or you can do system selection. What are the differences? Well, if I have an ABS light on my vehicle, I know I have to go into the brake control module or the ABS module. So I can go system selection. That lets you pick a single module to go into. So if I have ABS, I'm going to go into ABS. It'll be quicker because it's only trying to access one module compared to auto scan. Auto scan is going to scan all modules in your vehicles, and the newer vehicles have 20 to 50 modules. Believe it or not, some like fancy BMWs have a lot of modules, and it's like takes forever to scan it. So right now I'm just in ABS. I can read codes, no codes because I know I don't have any. You can go into live data and you can read live data for everything that's ABS related. So left front sensor, right front sensor. You can read right here. So that's cool. You can see live data for everything related to ABS. Then you can go to actuation test. This will let you activate certain components like the ABS pump. So depending on the car, you will have more options than others. So we'll see what this one comes up with. Okay. So as you can see there, it says that I am into the ABS module, and that's letting me know that I'm in diagnostic mode. So this here lets me activate the ABS motor, the valve, basically everything, like literally everything related to ABS. I can come in here and activate for testing purposes. So that's awesome. We'll see what they have for special functions. All right, so I can do air bleeding mode. I can do a steering angle sensor calibration. I can do ESP, ESC reset. I can calibrate the longitude sensor. I can do brake pad changing mode, which is, like I said, if I want to do brake pads, I will go through that special function on the first page instead of coming all the way here, but you can do it from here too. You can check the ECU if you replace the ECU, and the auto variant coding. You can play with the coding too. I'm not going to do that on a brand new car. But yeah, it does a lot for a $329 scanner, honestly. It's got way more options than a lot of the cheap scanners. So we'll go back. I'll do an auto scan so you guys can see. Now it says that this car has 25 modules, so it's going to go through all of them. I know this car has like 3 modules that have codes because there's a parking sensor on the front that's bad that I am going to replace. And you're going to see that the modules that do have codes will light up in orange with a little exclamation on the side. As you can see, it's scanning module 22 out of 25. So it scanned 25 modules within less than 30 seconds. So these are the 3 modules that have a code. If I want to see what the code is quick, I can press this arrow down and it shows right there, front, center, right sensor fault, which is the parking sensor on the front I told you about. If you want a DTC list, a list of all the codes that it picked up, it'll give you this list here. Press go back. If you want to clear all the codes from here, you can clear all the codes. When you click clear all, it'll go to every module that has a code and clear it. I don't want to clear it because I am diagnosing this. All right. So that will read all the codes. If you want to go into, like I said, this one here, I can click diagnostic. It'll go into that one module. So the integrated body module. So it went into that one module. Now you can read codes from here. Here it is, the code. I can watch live data. Here's all the live data you can watch. If you want to select a certain, like, let's say you want to watch like these 4 first, or if you want to record what they do, you can press record. Or if you want to see just these 4 and you don't want to see all the other stuff around, you press custom. And what that does is that selects just the 4, so that way you're not distracted by all the other live data around. So that's kind of cool. You can go display all, and it'll show all of them again. So that's awesome. And again, the whole time I'm using this, battery is at 100%. So that's awesome that this thing charges while you use it. I really like this tool for $329. It's fast. It's nice and quick. It goes into the menus. It has a lot of options. This is for a home scanner, or for like a backup scanner, even at work. This is pretty awesome. It scans every module in the car. It has some activations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in. I'm going to try some activations for you guys. So we're going to go to system selection. A good place to go for activations like the body control module. Let's see here. Because the body control module does like wipers and lights and all that. So, or even the cluster. The cluster might have like activations for the gauges. So if you go to actuation, it should have like a gauge sweep and turn on all the lights in the cluster to test them and stuff. So we'll see what it has. And this comes in handy for when you're trying to test something. You can activate it through here. Let's say you're trying to test the wiper motor. You can activate the wiper motor from here and see if you have power under there, or you can always use the switch. But it's nice to be able to have the wire come out through there and have the scanner under the hood, and you can do it all from under there instead of having to come in here and turn the switch on. So it helps. So let's see, indicator all on. This should turn on every light on the cluster. So we're gonna click all on, see what it does. Oh, actually, press start. So as you can see, it turns every single light that exists on the cluster on. and that's telling you that they all work. And then I'm going to press stop, and they all go off. And then it says action test successful. So that's kind of cool. You can go into every single module will have actuation. So let's see if I can go into integrated body control module. This is a good one because, like I said, this has wipers and it has a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can turn the wipers on from here if it has it. All right, this has a lot. So rear wiper, wiper power relay, wiper low speed. So let's see if I can turn wiper low speed. So right now I have to press start. I'm gonna put the camera here, and here it is, wiper low speed. I press stop. Stop. Now let's do wiper high speed. I'm gonna press start. That worked. That's cool. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, everything seems to work. What else can I check here? The seatbelt indicator. Let's see if that will work. I'm gonna press start. Oh, that's right here. Sorry. So that's flashing. So that's cool. So if you want to test that, like I said, there's a lot of things you can do. For a tool in this price range, this thing does a lot actually. And again, you can read your DTCs. So I have the sensor fault, and then you can watch live data. You can see everything here, fog lamp voltage, everything. So that's kind of cool. This tool is nice and snappy. I like that. So yeah, guys, this is a very nice little tool. Works nice and fast. I'm actually pretty surprised of how well it works. It didn't freeze. Has a lot of features. I'd say for $329, which is the price right now, this is a must-have. It does a lot. It really does, especially for all system scan. It scans every module in the car, lets you read codes, activations. This is a must-have for $300, honestly. You start to get into the $1,000 scanners. That's when you start to get a lot more features like programming keys and auto authorization for like the new Chrysler vehicles and stuff. But for your regular newer car or even older car, this is awesome. I would definitely, for the price, I 100% recommend this scanner to you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, or if you want me to do another video on this showing something else, just drop a comment. But other than that, I'm going to leave a link for this below. You can click on it and go buy one yourself. This is definitely awesome. And like I said, it's still 100% battery. This thing, you can sit in your car and play with it for hours. It'll charge. So you really cannot go wrong with this scanner. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.